Today, we are going on an incredible journey, a 12,000-year story that tracks how we, as humans, have tried to understand and express the world around us. And you'll see, it's a story that starts with our first marks on the world and ends with us being able to rewrite the very code of life itself.
It really is a massive question when you think about it. How did we get from here, our ancestors trying to capture the world they saw on a simple slab of rock, to becoming a civilization that can now reach into the building blocks of biology and change them? I mean, that is a staggering leap. The story of how we got from A to B is really the story of how we learned to see. So, let's start at the very beginning. Our story kicks off at the dawn of civilization, with humanity's first big attempts to make some sense of the universe and, leave a permanent mark. You see it across thousands of years, from the earliest rock art we've found in South Sinai, all the way to the monumental pyramids in Egypt. There's this one single powerful impulse driving our ancestors, the need to bring some kind of order to all the chaos. And for ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, this was way more than just building impressive stuff. It was about creating a reality on Earth that mirrored what they believed was a divine mathematical order in the heavens. They were convinced the universe ran on a set of rules, and they wanted to build their world using that same rulebook. And this just brilliantly shows their genius. Using nothing more than a simple rope with 12 knots, they could create a perfect 3-4-5 right triangle, which always gives you a perfect 90-degree angle. This simple, elegant little tool was the key that unlocked everything, all the precise, straight-edged architecture of their pyramids and temples. They were literally stamping their own geometry onto the natural world. And here's a wild thought that connects their world to ours. The light from some of the stars you see in the sky tonight actually began its journey back when those pyramids were being built. It's a literal bridge of light, connecting us to them across thousands of years of time and space. But okay, just marking up reality wasn't enough. The human quest had to evolve. We started searching for the hidden laws behind it all, the secret, harmonic code of the universe itself. The ancient Greeks, for instance, they really believed the universe was a kind of symphony. Their whole system of learning was built around what they called the Quadrivium, 4 mathematical arts. And get this, they included music right alongside arithmetic and geometry. Why? Because they thought music's harmonies were a secret exercise in arithmetic, a direct window into the mathematical laws that governed everything. So this quest to understand everything really took two different but parallel paths. On the one hand, you had Renaissance artists like Da Vinci. These guys were basically scientists, dissecting bodies and studying light to perfectly capture reality. And then, at the same time, you had scientists like Galileo and Newton, who were looking up at the stars, decoding the universal laws that kept the planets in motion. So one path was capturing reality, the other was decoding it. And that brings us to a real turning point. A moment when a new piece of technology didn't just change our tools, it fundamentally changed how we saw the world and our own place in it. The camera. Once the camera was invented, painting didn't have to be a perfect mirror of reality anymore. I mean, a machine could do that job now. So what did artists do? They turned inward. You had the Impressionists who started chasing these fleeting moments of light. And that journey away from perfect realism eventually led to the pure abstraction of artists like Jackson Pollock, whose work wasn't about showing you something, it was about making you feel something, pure rhythm and emotion on a canvas. And here's where that theme of light comes full circle in a really beautiful way. Right at the same time artists were looking for new ways to capture and represent light, scientists were building tools to detect the oldest light in the entire universe, a faint, ancient echo from the very beginning of time. They were looking back to the dawn of creation itself. We're talking 13.7 billion years ago. So what did they find? They found the cosmic microwave background. Think of it as the cooled-down remnant, the afterglow of the Big Bang. It's the oldest story we could ever possibly read. And the most incredible part? You can still see it. That static, that snow on an old TV that's not tuned to a channel, a tiny part of that is a live feed of the cosmic microwave background, a direct link to creation. Okay, from seeing the echo of creation, we now get to the final, and maybe the most profound chapter in our story. This is where we stop being just observers of the world, and we start becoming authors. This is the huge leap our entire story has been building up to. We started by painting echoes of life on cave walls. Today, we are learning how to edit the very code, the DNA, that creates that life in the first place. The main tool that makes this all possible is called CRISPR.
The best way to think about it is like a pair of molecular scissors. It's this revolutionary technology that lets scientists go right into the genetic code and make incredibly precise cuts and changes to the DNA sequence.
So, what can we do with these scissors? Well, we can replace faulty genes that cause disease. We can delete harmful bits of code. We can modify existing DNA. The potential is just breathtaking. We could cure diseases we fought for centuries and in a very real way begin to shape the future of our own evolution.
But this story isn't just about the incredible power of our tools. It's also about the power of the human spirit. Because even as our technology gets more and more powerful, it's our ability to adapt and create, especially when we're faced with new limits, that really defines us. Take the artist Chuck Close. After an injury left him paralyzed, he couldn't paint the way he used to. So what did he do? He adapted. He came up with a whole new system, creating these massive, stunningly realistic portraits out of tiny, abstract grids of color. He was faced with this incredible limitation, and he invented a completely new way to create a whole.
And that brings us to our final question. For 12,000 years, we've been echoing creation, on rock, on canvas, and in the ancient light of the stars. But now we can write the code itself. So what story are we going to choose to write? That, I think, is the defining question for our time.